Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, we have got a quick and easy card, and I love the outcome of today. This is simple, does not involve many tools or products, and so this one today we are going to be doing some Zentangle sort of designs. I am going to choose this flower because this is really all I had that was appropriate for what I was trying to achieve. So this is from the Speak Beautiful Things stamp set by Gina. I am going to stamp this down on some Tim Holtz watercolor paper just because of the next steps that we're going to take. I'm going to pop this pretty much straight in the middle. Now honestly, this would look stunning. Just imagine a big beautiful bird with big beautiful wings, or I don't know, just I can imagine lots of different things other than flowers. But if flowers is what you have, then do flowers, because I'm doing it and I really like how this turned out. I am using some clear embossing powder over top to create some little wells for later on. But for this one, I just take a black fine liner pen, and this is where you can go crazy. This does not have to be difficult. I am going to do some lines across and then some more lines both ways. I really just go around and sort of, even if you look around your room, see a pattern, you'll be able to recreate it. There is no rhyme, no reason as to what you should do beside each other. Keep it simple. You can repeat some of the patterns. I've got some squiggles, some plain lines, then these curved ones. You can do some triangles, you could do some rainbow looking ones, you could do just colored in little squares, you can do all sorts. There are just so many options out there, and it just does not have to be difficult at all. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think even just the most simple, even these little dots here, takes 10 seconds to fill in one of the leaves and just go around and do different designs. The only thing I try not to do is to put the same design side by side, but apart from that, there are no rules. And I used to do an activity, sort of like a mindfulness one, where it's called Take a Pen for a Walk. And you do a really big squiggly line that crosses over each other, crosses all over each other, all over a page, and then all of the little shapes that are left, the little things, you can fill them in with all these little sort of doodling designs, Zentangle, or whatever you may feel like doing. You might just choose to color them in different colors. You might choose to do some of this black and white, all sorts of good things. And that is something that I have taught my children, and they really, really enjoy doing, particularly when we're traveling or things like that, when they've got time to just sit and create the patterns. They absolutely love doing that. And so this for me is pretty relaxing, and I really enjoy this. I think it also looks really, really eye-catching, and you can fill in, as I said, go through your stash, see what you've got, see what has those open spaces that you are able to fill in or add some detail to. It might even just be some leaves cascading down the page. It could be butterflies and you get to fill in their wings if they have empty wings. I mean, it could be all sorts of things. So go through your stash, see what open sort of outlined stamps you have, and then go from there. So for this one, I am nearly all finished. There is nothing complex or complicated on here, but I really like the look of how this ended up. Now I am going to use some Gina K inks. Now just because it's sort of nice and easy, I'm going to put these onto an acrylic block, and I'm just going to use the re-inkers because I'm using these like watercolors. These are water reactive inks, so I'm able to just add a bit of water, and that way I can use them like watercolors. I did put down a few different colors because I wasn't sure what I wanted, but I am going to use, I think, mainly three. I think it's the peach Bellini, and then the wild dandelion, and then also the, I think it's called blue raspberry maybe. It could also be the ocean mist. I can't remember which one I used. So now this is part of the reason why I did the heat embossing, so that we can create sort of like a little barrier, a little wall barrier, because I don't want there to be any color or water inside where we've got our image. So our image is going to stay black and white. Then I add some water all around the outside of my paper, and this is where I can pretty much just drop in the color, and I really like this look. It's very relaxing to me. It's sort of no effort involved. You absolutely could do some masking and then do some very beautiful ink blending, or I don't know, lots of different options that you can do around the outside. Absolutely. You could definitely make your image colored if you want to, but this was just a really quick and simple card. This does not, apart from obviously the stamp and things, it's sort of the low cost card making or budget friendly, where there's not a whole lot of tools involved. You don't need to have all the latest bits and pieces, and if you're talented, more talented than I am for sure, then you might be able to just freehand draw an image that you could then do the Zentangle designs inside. So that would be even better, even cooler, if you were able to do that. I do not have that talent, I'm afraid, so I will use the stamps. But it's really nice to do some card making and paper crafting that doesn't feel like the pressure to just have all the wonderful things. It really lets this beautiful stamp speak for itself, and we can add all those lovely things in there. Now, I've used, as I said, some of the blue. I'm pretty sure this is the Ocean Mist color, and just let it sort of, you know, mix together just a little bit, not too much though. Now I am going to dry this a little bit. I did want a little bit of blue up the top though. I just felt like I needed one more piece, and I'm going to dry this really well so that I can just carry on with the next step. But you can absolutely just leave this to naturally dry as well, and that would look beautiful. You could do all sorts of things at this point. You could do some splatters if you wanted to. I am just happy with this image as is. Now, if I had black cardstock, I would have added a black matting layer to sort of match the image that we had on the inside, but I have no black cardstock at the moment. I am completely out, and I will order some next time I make an order, but I definitely won't make a special order for this. There you go, it is the Ocean Mist, and so I got a couple of packs of this paper to try out recently. So this is sort of a heavyweight cardstock, and this is what I do if I'm not sure about what I want. So do I want a white matting layer and then a blue card base, or do I want a blue matting layer and then a white card base? And sometimes it helps if I hold my hands, sort of, you know, I can block out the rest of that image and I can really see what that top left hand corner is going to look like. And so for me, when I was doing this, you can tell me in the comment section down below which one would you have done. This one here is just too similar. It really just, the white doesn't stand out enough, so that tells me that I need to have a blue matting layer, and I will put it onto a white card base. But I was more than happy to do the other way around as well. As I said, if I had some black cardstock, I would have used that. I could have also have just use some ink to create it, or a pen. That's what I've done in the past, but I was just happy as this was just a small amount of time I had for card making today, and so I was happy enough with how this came out. Now, I really wanted a little tag to sort of go on here, and I couldn't find my woodware tag set that I have, but I do have this one here. All I'm using from it is the tag. You could draw this little tag. It's very simple, and then a little sentiment from this one that says happy birthday. Of course, I'm going to put some clear embossing powder on this one too, and then that way it's going to match the Zentangled image on the inside, which I also heat embossed. And then I'm going to cut this out with my fussy cutting scissors, and I'm just leaving the tiniest of tiny little white borders there. Honestly, this is a really nice easy shape. You probably could just cut the tag anyway and then add some black ink around the outside if you didn't have a stamp that was going to create the tag. Then I will punch a hole through here and add some twine, some little burlap twine through there. And then, of course, to attach this on, I'm just going to pop a little bit of double-sided tape around the back here. I actually have it around all four sides, but I'm just going to pull back this little bit so that I can attach the twine first. And then I thought one piece looked a little bit too sparse, so I'm actually going to add in a couple more pieces. I think you could easily use some raffia, some twine, some gold thread, some blue thread. All good things I think would look lovely here, but this is just what was on my table from the previous project, so I'll go ahead and use that. Then I have all 4 of my little sides here. I'm going to pop this onto the blue matting layer that we discussed earlier, and then from there I'm going to pop this onto my white card base. Now, not everything always works out perfect, of course, and I like to show you exactly how it is for me. So you'll notice that this card is there's a little too much white at the bottom. So between you and me, all we have to do is just take this to the trimmer and trim off a little bit, and nobody will be any the wiser. And of course it will fit in the envelope just that much better. So we don't have to tell all of our secrets all the time, but look at that, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. I am going to add a tiny little bit of glue and double-sided tape underneath that tag just to keep it sitting exactly where I want it to go. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye!